Prada announced Wednesday it's going to be forming a diversity council to elevate voices of color within the company and the fashion industry as a whole. Film director Ava DuVernay and artist Lisa Gates will act as chairs as well. Prada is one of many high-end brands recently accused of creating designs resembling blackface. The company faced a huge amount of backlash on social media back in December for its line of monkey-like figurines. I'll let that sink in. Earlier this month, Gucci was criticized for this. Its black wool jumper, look at the mouth cutout. So that's another design that resembles blackface as well. And also, gosh, there's so many. Just this week, Katy Perry was called out over 2 pairs of shoes from her personal line. They were actually removed from the collection. She said she never intended to inflict any pain whatsoever, but celebrities, including Spike Lee and T.I., are calling for boycotts of all of these brands. Julee Wilson is the fashion and beauty director at Essence. She joins us live now. So, would you support boycotting these brands, or is it all about just opening up the dialogue to a conversation to educate these brands about why blackface is so hurtful?
I think it's both.
Okay.
I think we need to make them see that we're serious, you know, and you do that with the dollar in the bank. So by taking our money away from them, they'll see that we mean business, and we want to make sure that they step up to the plate and make sure that they're doing what's right. Yeah.
Because you know, none of these mistakes, I can't say for sure, but I don't believe any of these embarrassing mistakes would have happened if you literally just had one black person in the room while you were making these decisions.
Absolutely.
So it goes to show that the problem, it's ignorance, but it's also just the lack of diversity in the fashion business as a whole. So many of these brands making huge mistakes within weeks and months of each other.
Absolutely. They love our culture, they love our swag, and they capitalize on that in their advertisements and in their campaigns, yet they don't have people that look like us in the boardrooms making these decisions as employees. So it's really hurtful, and it's honestly exhausting. I mean, we've talked about this ad nauseum. Every few years or every few months, something like this comes up.
It's not just every few years. I feel as though just over the past month or so, I've seen people making mistakes with blackface in the news a lot, whether it's Megyn Kelly, whether it's the Virginia governor. Well, I mean, that was a long time ago, fine, but still, the Attorney General of Virginia as well, and then all of these fashion brands. Why is all of this happening now? I mean, is this a watershed moment for our culture, do you think?
I mean, I think it's a watershed moment for them to get their act together. But like to your point, this has happened in the past, and they just haven't learned from it. They keep doing it over and over again. So I do think it's another opportunity for us to make sure that we hold them to their word, that they're making these councils, they're bringing on diversity, making sure that they do right by us, because this is ridiculous. This is blatant.
Why is fashion so, I mean, listen, we've talked about hashtag Oscars so white.
Right.
Why is fashion hashtag so white as well? I mean, you have diversity in the movie business. I mean, obviously Oscars, you know, they had their own issues, but there's diversity in the movie business, there's diversity in the music business, in the entertainment business as a whole. But with fashion, it just seems a little bit harder for black people to penetrate. Why is that?
I don't have the answers. If I did, I think that I would be screaming it from the rooftop. I think it's just an industry that feels like, since they're creatives, since we're all accepting, that the spotlight hasn't been shown onto fashion as much, because it just seems like, oh, they're so diverse when it comes to
it's also Western definitions of beauty. That I think is part of the problem.
Absolutely. But again, you know, they will, you know, capitalize on Black culture. We are the culture, Black people. And so they'll capitalize on that. Yet we're not the ones in the boardrooms. We're not, I mean, why would that sweater be put on shelves if there was someone of color in the room saying, you know what, you don't understand the nuances of Black culture and what this means to us and how hurtful that is. That's ridiculous.
It's also, I mean, I think the one other issue is that for a lot of the European brands, they might not be as familiar. This is just me playing devil's advocate. They might not be as familiar in Europe with the history of blackface in the United States. So when you think about Prada and Gucci, I mean, Katy Perry, there's no excuse. But with Prada and Gucci, that could be part of the issue as well.
Absolutely, but you know, when you look at Gucci, Gucci has a partnership with Dapper Dan.
Of course.
So why wouldn't you even run that by someone as iconic as Dapper Dan to say, look, this is what we're doing. These are some of our designs that we're putting on shelves. He's there as a resource if it's someone who you actually, care about and respect their opinion in your company. Why wouldn't you have him, weigh in?
Yeah. I think they don't even realize it's a problem to begin with, so they don't even think maybe we should have someone of color weigh in. That's part of the issue. But listen, I think people are learning their lesson now, right?
I hope so.
Okay. So we got to leave it there. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.